A Dog Named Christmas is generally a good film, but I think while they were trying to deliver a really heartfelt message, I think it's a really, really terrible message that could encourage impulsivity, and that's never going to be a good thing in this scenario. And I'll talk a little bit more about that, but in general, I do think it's a decent film and worth watching. This was released in 2009. It's directed by Peter Werner, written by Jenny Wingfield, and we have a cast including Linda Emond, Noel Fisher, Bruce Greenwood, and various others. And the story focuses on a character called Todd. He is a young boy with a learning disability, and over the Christmas period, the animal shelter has an Adopt a Dog for Christmas program, and Todd is helping out with this program, and I hate it. On the surface, an Adopt a Dog program seems like a good idea, and I think they thought they were doing a good thing by encouraging people to adopt shelter animals. And yes, on the surface, absolutely that's a good thing. However, this isn't a good thing. In fact, I think it's an absolutely terrible thing, because the concept is adopting a dog over Christmas. You're ostensibly fostering a dog for a couple of days over the holidays. And you should never impulsively foster or adopt a dog, which is what it's encouraging. And as Todd's father pointed out, the whole purpose here is that the dogs will be fostered for a few days in the hopes that the family will fall in love with the dog and not want to give the dog back, which I can see being the case. One of the reasons why I don't foster cats, or in the past, my cat would hate it, but if I didn't have cats, I was thinking of fostering, and I just wouldn't be able to give them back. And that's obviously what the shelter hopes. And then again, people are impulsively keeping those dogs when they may not have the ability to keep the dog long term. And it's absolutely horrendous. So usually I love films that support adopting shelter dogs, and that's obviously a fantastic thing to do. But to impulsively foster a dog for a few days, there are only two scenarios, possible outcomes. Well, I guess there are three. The third is that a family fosters a dog, they don't give the dog back, and the dog genuinely finds a long-term forever home. That would be the ideal scenario. The other two, and I think in my opinion more likely scenarios, the first is that the dog is fostered for a few days, it thinks it's found its people, and then it's sent back to the shelter. Now, one could argue giving the dog a family for a few days is a lovely thing, but I think it's more unsettling. Not that I'm an expert, but that's my perspective. And the second one is that, of course, the family fosters the dog for a few days, doesn't want to let the dog go, keeps the dog, and then realises that they don't have the lifestyle for the dog, or they can't afford the dog, and there's more upheaval for the dog. So I really think this film has an absolutely horrendous message. And I think they thought they were doing a great thing. I'm with Todd's father there. It's a really terrible thing. And as I said, the rest of the film is absolutely fine. If you can overlook that, we do have some messages, of course, about encouraging shelter dogs rather than getting a new puppy from a breeder. But obviously the approach they take, in my opinion, is really, really irresponsible. The storytelling, however, is very well done. The pacing is good. The narrative flows well. We do have some flashbacks. Ordinarily, not a huge fan of flashbacks in narratives, but they do serve a purpose to tell part of one of the characters' stories. And I quite like that. I think it served a purpose. It provided more context. I don't have a problem with the flashbacks or the way they were presented at all. And we have some well-written characters, some really good performances. Todd is a very likeable protagonist. We have some great camera work, great music, reasonably festive, not over the top, but I think it could probably still get you into the festive spirit. Do I recommend it? It's difficult, because on the one hand, it is otherwise a good film. The narrative flows well, the pacing's good, characters are well written, performances are good, gorgeous dogs, nice amount of Christmas. But I think the message is not great. I think anything that encourages spontaneously adopting a dog or fostering a dog. Fostering obviously is not quite a commitment compared with adopting, but I still think it's not a great thing. So I think they were doing a really great thing and delivering a really strong message. But to be fair, as Todd's father did explain, this is what the shelter is hoping for. So we do have some opinions within the film that this program may not be the best. So it's not completely one-sided, but I still have issues with it. I guess I recommend it. As long as you go into it knowing that adopting a dog for a couple of days is probably not a good idea. Again, if the dog finds its forever home, then it would be a great idea, but is it worth the risk? I don't know. Either way, adopting a dog is not something anybody should ever do lightly, ever do spontaneously, and I hope that that's a key takeaway from this discussion. Everything else, though, absolutely fine. I guess I recommend it, but proceed with caution.